I'm not ready to start yet.
Yeah, that's fine. Go live.
Let me bring up my screen.
Send the link to the Degenerates League, and I'll send it to some other people.
I want to say. I'm going to share it, and then you stop screen, right? Yeah. Oh, shit. You don't stop screen. Which one? Oh, yeah. See if I can get this shit out. There you go.
Thank you.
Yep. Some great teaser legs on the board.
Dude, I had such a hard time finding the one bet that I love is the Niners, but the other ones I just couldn't figure out.
Honestly, I had a tough. I bet a few things, but like confidence on giving them out isn't very high. So I got to figure
I've
out
had a
which
pretty good couple weeks too.
I might just have to like fire heavy. You know what I mean? Like
I got some funky bets for tonight.
When in doubt, just fire heavy. I got the over tonight.
One of them is Deron Bland interception, Ferguson 2 touchdowns, Dak Prescott anytime touchdown, pays 200 to 1.
Dak Prescott anytime.
I got Micah Parsons touchdown 100 to 1.
Oh my gosh.
I've got CeeDee Lamb to score, and then the real one that I think is good is adjusted under to 52.5. Gallup over 16 yards, Geno Smith interception, and Aubrey 2 field goals pays 8 to 1.
B-Ops. The GOAT. Let me make sure that audio is coming through the right channel.
Okay, perfect. We can start at 7:30. Rome.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got picks. Hopefully, is Rome on? Is he follow the Instagram? Because that the Laporta touchdown was such a good way to start Thanksgiving. It was like the first drive.
Yeah.
It was he just threw a touchdown. It was so great.
I don't know. Ask Rome. Rome, do you follow the IG? You know who we follow, right?
I follow anyone who follows the account. I follow back.
Okay, it's the same name. Is the same name as it is on YouTube? I think I'm gonna give out. I think I'm gonna end up giving out. Oh, I can't because it involves Dallas. I have to figure out a teaser I want to give out, but I'm gonna probably give the under out in the Miami game, and the Denver plus 3.5. I almost fired on the Patriots, dog.
I don't hate
Chargers more than 3. You know what I mean?
True, Rome. I feel you.
I think I'm gonna tease. Oh, I don't know what the numbers are on Hard Rock. Hold on.
What do you need?
What is the Denver game on Hard Rock?
3.5.
Perfect. That's what I want. And then what's the over/under on the Miami? 49.5.
Hold on. Yep.
Perfect. That's what I want. And I'm a good teaser.
What the fuck is that noise?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to put as a teaser. Double up on that. Fuck it, we're firing 3 games.
Rod, let's go. You and these damn teasers, Nick. He never learns, Rod.
I'm never gonna learn.
They just tease him. He ends up losing somehow.
We can run it when you're ready.
All right. We got the records in there. Yep.
You got mine? Oh, I'll say mine. Let me.
I mean, yours is just one loss better. I mean, you only did one pick. Mine was 1-1, but I put on our IG and told everyone not to bet the Browns because their whole defense got ruled out before the game, basically 4 starters.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't think anyone really bet it, but I'm going to count it for the record.
Yeah, you kind of have to, but
yeah, you have to. I mean, we have to pick on you know what I mean? We have to pick early in the week. So especially on Thanksgiving, it's like 5 days before the game.
Yeah.
All right. Week 13.
There it is.
Week 13, baby. The only reason I knew that is because 2 more weeks of fantasy football regular season. Fresh off Thanksgiving, baby. How are you feeling, Nick?
I'm feeling good. Thanksgiving was a nice little break. Came back into work, had so much to catch up on. I neglected like all my responsibilities like the day before going into break. I was like, we'll do it later this week.
You traveled, right?
Yeah, I went up to New York. Was in Middletown for a bit and then went down to the city for a couple days.
Love it. All right, before we get into anything, of course, the greatest sponsor in the history of the world, Diet Smoke. I've been using it. You've been using it. Everyone's been using it. It keeps you just right for any occasion. You know, after work, you come home, get the kids to bed, little Diet Smoke. Nick's got it in his hands. Vapes, gummies, Delta 8, Delta 9 THC, CBD, whatever you need, sodas even. Absolutely everything they have. And it's just fantastic. Code Nick and Bean will get you 20% off. Now, we ate a lot of food. I'm sure you did. I ate way too much food. What do you got?
I went to the Angry Orchard. What do you want to call it? Not their brewery, but like their farm with the.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
all right.
Nice.
So, had some ciders.
Mm-hmm.
I ate too much food, Nick. We had a 1:00 Thanksgiving, a 4:00 Thanksgiving, and then a comatose late night, of course. You know, take the Hawaiian rolls, throw turkey and mashed potatoes on it, 8:00 Thanksgiving as well. I still feel disgusting. I'm sure you guys ate a lot of food in New York, but you probably walked it off, right? I mean, at least you're in the city.
God, the amount of steps that we got in the city was ridiculous. I was exhausted every time we came in at night.
Love it. All right, so on Thanksgiving, hopefully everyone saw the video. No pod last week, of course, but I did put out a video on Instagram. If you saw it, the first bet we gave out was Sam Laporta anytime touchdown, and he scored 2 minutes into the first Thanksgiving game. It was awesome. Nick's teaser, like everyone else's in America, got killed in the first game. The Lions lost. Everybody had them either in a money line parlay or a teaser, and that's why you don't do those things because preview for impact players, but Jordan Love spanked that ass. I mean, the Lions came out
one of the best games. He had the best games like he's had in his career.
Exactly.
His career day.
Exactly. So over the Thanksgiving week, I was technically 1-1. Nick was 0-1. I'm 17-16-1. I'm a winning better on the season now. And what are you? You're a few games over 500.
Not anymore. I'm 14-13. I want to say. I think I was 14-12 the week before.
Got it. So both of us are over 500. We did have a couple Prop God and EJ NBA picks as well. I think EJ went 4 for 5 or something like that. And Prop God, I don't think he didn't give out anything, did he?
I don't think he had anything.
I'd have to check. I don't think he gave anything out. So Thanksgiving was great.
You add them to us, we're well over 500.
Oh my God, we're so far over 500. We're pretty damn good. Now, Black Friday, the first ever Black Friday game, our Dolphins played on it. And one of the most epic plays ever, Tim Boyle, God knows why he's starting, tries to throw a Hail Mary at the half. Javon Holland, the snowman, picks it off and houses it 99 yards. They're calling it the Fail Mary for the Jets fans, the miserable Jets fans. They got the butt fumble. They got the Fail Mary. We smacked them. We did lose Jalen Phillips, which was tough, but the game overall was really, really good. We did go out and sign JPP, classic veteran, Jason Pierre-Paul. We'll see if he can do anything. That wraps up Thanksgiving, Black Friday last week. Now, let's talk about some impact players from last week, Nick. The first one we just alluded to, he did it to you, and he did it to all Lions fans, Lions bettors, Lions teasers, Lions moneyline parlays. Jordan Love, 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, and you knew right when the game started something was going to happen.
Yeah, I watched that game in misery. I was so upset the entire time, trying to enjoy it, like try not to like show too much negative emotion. I'm at the girlfriend's house with like her family and whatnot, and
you
the
were
bet is going horrible.
You were at her family's house?
Yeah.
Wow, that's big. That's big. I would have lost my mind. I'd be at the bar down the street, fucking watching the game, pounding my face. I couldn't do that. So props to you. That takes a mature person. Just losing the bet. You're like, oh, how are you? Nice to meet you. Yeah, my whole week's already ruined. Oh my God. And literally though, from the first position, I mean, it took like 2 seconds. Jordan Love came out and he's just throwing bombs down the field. Christian Watson woke up first time all year. I mean, they look great. Obviously the Lions, put up a fight, but big win for the Packers, big win for Jordan Love. He is just a classic seesaw this year. First few games, he looked great. Then he looked terrible. Now he's looking great again. Might have just been that Lions defense. But either way, the Lions do what the Lions do. They lose on Thanksgiving, which is hilarious. Now, one of the best games of the year, the 4:00 slate on Sunday, saw the Buffalo Bills going into Philly. Rain, weather, nothing could stop these two teams from putting on a show. It was, I believe it was 30. It ended up 37-34 or something like that.
I want to say you're right.
Yeah, the Eagles.
That or 31-37, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I think they won by 3 for sure. So either way, just the Bills, it was such a weird line all week. You knew something was up because it was like Bills 3.5. It got down to 2.5 at game time. Josh Allen, God, he frustrates me because when he is on, he is, besides Mahomes, the best player on the planet. He looked absolutely incredible. They dominated the game. But what Philly does, they've been doing it all year. They clawed back in. They end up winning the game in overtime on a Jalen Hurts rush. Josh Allen, I'm going to read you the stats real quick. Josh Allen had 339 and 2 touchdowns passing, plus 81 rushing and 2 touchdowns. And then Hurts had 200 passing, 3 touchdowns, plus 65 and 2 rushing touchdowns. Fucking epic.
It was a hell of a duel, just back and forth. I honestly didn't think the Bills had any business, like pregame. Not saying like after, during the game, but pregame, I thought the Eagles were going to smoke them. But they actually like came and played pretty well.
I think it's the first time ever where both quarterbacks had multiple rushing touchdowns and like 50+ yards rushing or something along those lines.
Josh Allen basically put that team on his back is really what happened. You know what I mean? Like they had no business in that game except for you have one of the best players in the league. So he was just like, okay, it's one of them days.
Yep. And it was a heartbreaking loss for Bills fans. Drops them to 6-6. We've got a 3-game lead in the division now, which is fucking awesome. We've got a question coming in from Bryce. Dak or Mahomes in fantasy this week? That's tough. Dak has been absolutely rolling. Obviously in fantasy, Nick. I mean, we're not asking Dak or Mahomes in real life. Thank you. I can take that. So in Green Bay, there could be weather. Honestly, to tell you the truth, Bryce, I'd probably roll Dak. I know it's a little – looking back, it's crazy to say Dak's been the best quarterback over the last 4 or 5 weeks. He's absolutely unstoppable. Green Bay's not a bad defense. Mahomes has not been putting up great stats. I'd go Dak. I don't know about – I think Nick's leaning Mahomes, but I would go Dak.
Guess who's number 1 right now in yards per point?
Yards per point? The Cowboys, probably.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're number 1 in like every statistic besides record, which is the Eagles, because they just kill these bad teams.
Well, they're not number 1 in like points per game. I don't even think they're number 1 in yards per game. Let me refresh this.
I bet over the last 5 weeks they are.
That was deep. Probably over the last 5 weeks.
Oh my God. I mean,
Are you a Dallas believer, though?
am I a Dallas believer? Nick, every year I get sucked into believing in Dallas
Oh,
and they
no,
shit
are you?
themselves in the playoffs. So I am staying away. I am claiming not to be a Dallas believer, but I may be a closet Dallas believer.
Okay, so over the last 3, I want to say Dallas is number 1, but Miami's number 1 on the season. Yeah, over the last 3, Dallas is number 1, but on this
Yeah.
season, Miami is.
That makes sense. I mean, we had a 70-point game. So, all right, last impact player. He's back from IR, and Sean McVay fucking feeds his lead running backs. Kyron Williams, 204 total yards, 2 touchdowns. I know it's Arizona. I know they're dog shit. I know he had 100 touches in this game, but I was impressed. He really, really, from a guy who was, I don't even know if he was drafted or like a 6th or 7th rounder. No, he ran a 4.6 at the combine. I mean, nothing to look at, and 200 plus yards is just sick.
Yeah, it's dudes on playing club college lacrosse that can run 4.6s.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was so bad. Maybe he was just like throwing the combine to get picked up by the Rams or something. But 200 yards is just like, not many running backs can put up 200 yards. And I know it's the Cardinals, and I know he, like, if people have him coming back in fantasy, he's got a tough schedule coming up. But I don't think it's possible to sit him. He's one of the few workhorse running backs in the league, and I think people are going to ride him for better or worse in the fantasy playoffs coming up.
He's legit, and their offense is looking balanced, almost like when they had Todd Gurley back there. I don't know if Kyron's ready to call him Gurley, but you know what I mean? Like, he's looking good. He's looking good.
I know Todd Gurley, broke down and isn't in the league anymore.
But in his prime,
Todd Gurley's peak, is up there with like all time. Like that, he had 2 seasons where he was just fucking incredible.
Yeah. What was it? Was it like the knees? Like, what happened?
Yeah. His knees just deteriorated. Unfortunately, sad. At least he got the one contract, the 4 years, $60 million. A lot of running backs aren't getting paid, so at least he got that. Yeah. All right, big week coming up. Weirdly enough, the NFL put 6 teams on bye in week 13.
Screwed me in fantasy.
Yeah, a lot of people, most of my fantasy teams, I've clinched a playoff berth or the first seed already, not to brag. But if I was making trades trying to, like, in our league, I traded for Josh Jacobs. He's on bye this week. I didn't need him really this week. But I know he's got like Chargers first week of the playoffs. So like sometimes you got to plot ahead, but it's big to have 6 teams on bye. So we only have 4 marquee matchups today because, I couldn't really find the 5th one.
Only 2 weeks only 2 teams on bye next week, and then buys are done, by the way.
Exactly. So first game, this is the game. Every week there's a big game, but this is the biggest one of the year yet. The San Francisco 49ers traveling to the 10-1 Philadelphia Eagles. Over-unders 47.5. Nick, the question, I was at the poker table. I was at a listing appointment. I was working. I'm everywhere this week, all right, Nick? The question, no matter who they are right now, everyone's asking, why are the 49ers favored in Philadelphia against the best team in the NFL? Can you answer that?
Philly's fucked this week.
Are they fucked this week?
Philly's fucked this week. I seen your text, and I actually agree with it. I didn't bet it, but Philly's screwed this week. So their secondary is going to get doused, and then they have a decent run defense, but the 49ers have Christian McCaffrey. So it's going to be a long week. The defense is coming off of, I don't even know how many minutes they played on the field against Josh Allen.
My God,
taking a beating. And they're coming straight into the buzzsaw. So I think it's going to be a long week for Philly.
Revenge game for the Niners. Remember, NFC Championship last year, Brock Purdy elbow goes out, first drive of the game. They had no quarterback. They got absolutely killed. This game is going to be awesome. Right now,
if the Bills can hang with you. Something's not right.
Philadelphia's they've been skating by, but hey, at the end of the day, a win's a win. The money actually is slightly on San Francisco at 56%. So I think people are seeing what we're seeing. I'll talk a little bit more about this in my pod picks. Next game. Give it to us, Nick. What's the next game?
The next game is Denver at Houston. So we've got CJ Stroud, who's been playing lights out. Is he finally going to have a week that he calms down and cools out? in Denver. In Houston, Denver traveling. The Denver defense is looking pretty good. Russ, I don't know, but the Denver defense is looking pretty good.
After that 70-point game, they have looked like the defense they were last year, which is a solid defense. They got a lot of young players, but they've been playing great. Now everyone's like, "Oh, is Russ back? Russ this, Russ that?" Well, in this 5-game winning streak where they've beaten the Chiefs, they've beaten the Bills, they've beaten some other team I can't remember that's really good. Either way, Russ has only thrown for more than 200 yards once. So I think what we're seeing, Nick, is Sean Payton's figured out this team and how to win and showing he's a great coach. Russ isn't making mistakes. I'll give him this credit. He looks leaner. He looks quicker in the pocket. Maybe he's not throwing, but he's doing a lot better. So this is going to be a great game. They do have the Texans. That -3.5 is tough. You got C.J. Stroud didn't practice today. Tank Dell didn't practice. A lot of their guys are banged up, which gives me pause on betting Houston, or else they would be one of my pod picks. Right now, I will tell you, still 70% of the money is on Houston. So people are still feeling Houston, but I think people are laying off because of that injury news and the uncertainty. Tommy's in the building. Cooks for $1 million tonight. I don't know about $1 million, but I do think he gets his normal 3 or 4 catches for 50 to 60 yards. People need a touchdown to make that fantasy game relevant, but I don't know if he goes absolutely crazy tonight. But, when you have a talented player like that, Tommy, Brandon Cooks, you're seeing Dak's trusting him more and more. He's a great second option to CD, doesn't put any pressure on Michael Gallup to be a third option, catch a couple passes a game. So, Cooks is always bound to go off. All right, next game, Detroit Lions coming off an absolute disappointment that killed Nick's teaser. I'll keep mentioning it because it's hilarious. They're laying 3.5 in New Orleans. New Orleans has here. I got to say something. Hold on. I got to say something. So we spent an entire offseason ridiculing Tua and the Dolphins for playing him after he had 3 concussions, maybe 2 concussions last year. Chris Olave is equally as bad as Tua. Go look it up. Last year, he had at least 2 concussions. One of them, he was knocked unconscious, just like Tua, throwing gang signs up in the end zone, okay? He got a concussion last week, and they're planning on possibly playing him. If they play him, I am going to fucking riot, okay? This is a bullshit double standard, all right? He is just as concussion prone as Tua. It's absolutely terrible. Save him from himself. Do not let him play this game. With that being said, I don't understand how this is only 3.5 points. New Orleans is not a good team. The Lions are a very good team. 45.5 is the line. What are your thoughts on this game, Nick?
Well, probably what it is that Detroit just got smoked in prime time. You said it was 3.5?
They're laying 3.5 in New Orleans. I figured this was a 5.5 game.
I might bet that at 3.5.
I would lean Lions as well. And the only thing I will tell you, 89% of the money right now is on the Lions.
Yeah, maybe I'll chill.
Yeah, maybe hold off on that one. But this is going to be a great game. I mean, Goff, dome game. I think Kamara, if Michael Thomas IR, Rashid Shaheed out, if Olave sits, the over-under on Kamara catches should be like 11.5 because they don't have anyone. It's going to be A.T. Perry and Lynn Bowden Jr., who couldn't even be our 9th receiver. So
right.
I think I'm intrigued by this game. It's got a high over-under 45.5. I was kind of shocked by that. Is it 45 or 46? 45.5. 46 now?
I see 46.
Yeah, 46.5. That's a tough over-under. This is going to be a fun game, though. That's why I put it in the marquee matchups. You got anything else on this one?
I almost put Lynn Bowden Jr. in my FanDuel because of the injuries.
Funny enough, he's in mine.
Wow.
Yep, he was he was cheaper than the cheapest receivers. Like he was at the absolute minimum I think that you can actually spend on a player. So, besides the defense. All right, last game, Sunday night. This line moved down. I checked it right before the podcast we started. Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Green Bay, -5.5. Over-under's 42.5. I think there's going to be some weather for this game. I can't confirm. Obviously, we're 4 or 5 days ahead, but 4 days ahead. Or what are we, 4? Are we 3 days ahead? I don't know, but I think there's going to be weather in this game. Don't quote me, but this is
What
Jordan Love
percentage of
looks
the
so
money?
good.
What
What?
percentage of the money's on the Chiefs?
Oh, it's gotta
Because
be high,
at
right?
5.5, like I want it. I'm just thinking fire on the Chiefs. Mahomes under a touchdown in Green Bay.
Oh, hold on. That's the total. Let's see what we got. Right now, the money's on Green Bay, Nick. It's been
Oh my
bet down. It
God.
was at 6.5 yesterday. It's down to 5.5. Right now, 67% of the money's on Green Bay. You
Look
might
what
have to throw that
Thanksgiving
in.
did to those lines. To
The
the Detroit
Thanksgiving
line?
might have affected both these lines a little bit. They might have overreacted.
Not so fast, my friend.
Yeah, I mean,
I
Mahomes,
smell opportunity.
I was pretty upset at myself for not live betting the Chiefs when they were down 14-0 last week, and you blinked and they were up 31-14. So you never doubt Patrick Mahomes. He's always going to come out on top, it feels like.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's get into it. Prop God, he's not with us this week. He's with us in general. He's just not with us this week for the pod. EJ from the farm, he's given us the spread. What?
To confirm, Prop God is not dead.
He's not dead. That's what I meant. He's very much alive, and he's a great guy. Now, EJ's given us a bet for tomorrow night. It's going to be the Pelicans spread. Okay, let's see if we can pull it up real quick to make sure we have it. What was that?
That was my Pelican.
Is that your
call.
Pelican? Oh, it's not up yet, but the Pelicans tomorrow night is the bet. Ride it. He's like overall on his picks. He's like I think it's 16-2 on his bets since he's joined the show. So I would ride Pelicans tomorrow night. I will obviously be doing it. You should too. Now, this is what the people pay us for, Nick. This is why we get a check in the mail every week and we don't have to work. Oh, here we go. EJ is in the chat. You aren't finding that spread. Just take it to the bank. Okay, so the spread's not out yet, he's saying, but whenever it comes out, it doesn't matter what it is, you bet it. Now, like I was saying, pod picks. This is why we're both retired at a young age of 30-something. We don't have to work because people pay us millions of dollars for these picks. Now, my first bet. I don't work. I just make this podcast with you once a week.
That's dope.
Oh, I haven't sent you your checks. Shit, I will. All right, I'll get you. I got you. Diet Smoke has just made us millionaires. It's incredible. All right, first bet. We talked about it earlier. It makes no sense, but Vegas is telling us who's going to win this game. The Niners are going to win the football game. I'm taking the -2.5. It does scare me a little bit that other people are betting it because I was hoping the money would be on the Eagles. It's slightly on the Niners, but this is a game where Vegas is pointing out who's going to win it. The Eagles have been skating by all year. They're winning all these close games. It's time for them to lose. It's time for the Niners to make a statement that with a healthy quarterback, they can play with this team. So give me the Niners -2.5.
I like it. My first bet is going to be the Broncos. What did you say they were +3.5?
3.5.
Traveling to Houston. The defense is playing lights out. We've got CJ Stroud questionable. He'll probably play. A couple other pieces questionable on that offense. And I do believe they're coming on a high. I think I've tried to bet against them 2 weeks and I've lost. But hey, third time's a charm. We got Denver +3.5.
I almost want to just take the Texans so we can go head to head because it was the same with that. What was the last one we did? It was 2 weeks ago. I think it was the Cardinals you had +4.5.
Maybe.
And the Texans are just covering machines this year.
They are.
They're like one of the scariest teams to bet against, and you just continue to do it. I learned my lesson. I lost 2 weeks early in the year. I'm like, I'm never betting against CJ Stroud again. They're a scary team. All right.
I should lay off, but whatever.
But hey, it's your pick. It honestly, I don't hate it. But can the Broncos keep it up? That's the question. All right. This one was this was a classic one for me. I was trying to find the bet that made the most sense to me on the board that I liked the most. And I just couldn't see a world where the Jets and the Falcons scored over 33.5 points. Like these teams, Tim Boyle, Desmond Ridder, this could be the worst quarterback matchup in NFL history. I have to just somehow take the over in this game. I hate it. It's terrible. How is this game going to go over? Nick, if I couldn't even paint you the scenario, but I got to do it. Over 33.5, 92% of the money is on the under. It keeps going down. I'm going to take the over because this is my like gross bet of the week, over 33.5 Jets Falcons.
Crazy.
I couldn't find a spread that I really hated. This was the total that just made no sense to me. Like this game could have been like a 28.5 and I wouldn't have been shocked. So give me the over in this game. We're going to need probably 3 defensive touchdowns. We're probably going to get them, and we're probably going to hit over 33.5.
All right, so this next one, the strategy here was to take 2 teams that are playing against 2 poor teams. These teams aren't great teams, but they're teams that tend to keep it close. And I think they're likely winners of the games, even though they might not be favored. Well, one of them isn't favored. So we got Tennessee Titans against the Indianapolis Colts. I'm taking them. I'm teasing them out from 1 to +7. Then the second one, Tomlin has been keeping them in close games all year. You can take them to the bank in just about any teaser. I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers up to +0.5. So they just got to win the game. So we've got Tennessee Titans +7, and we've got Steelers +0.5. I believe they're against the Cardinals this week. Should be all right.
Yep. I think you're actually going to get 1.5, to be honest.
Okay.
I think you get 1.5 with the Steelers. So give yourself that just in case they lose by 1. I do like that bet. So it's Tennessee, the other leg at home.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, I'm actually in that Pittsburgh game as well, and I really like this bet. I think this is my bet of the week. This is my best bet of the week. It's going to be Pat Freiermuth over 3.5 receptions.
Okay.
It actually pays +100. It's even money. He had his biggest game of the year coming back this week. Deontay Johnson has a little bit of an illness. I'm not worried about that, but I do think Freiermuth against the Cardinals, who just fucking suck, Nick. They're just a bad football team, and they've seen enough promise. Here's the thing: they've seen enough promise this year that they're going to keep their coach. Kyler is a guy I think Kyler's a guy they can build around. Okay, he's not bad. We've seen some spurts, but now they're in tanking mode. Okay, now they're in let's lose these games. Freiermuth is going to dice them up over the middle. He is one of probably the top 7 or 8 most talented tight ends. He's perfect for Pickett. Pickett needs him. We saw it last game. I think he cashes this bet pretty easily.
So one of the things that I'm seeing with the Cardinals is they play really good when Kyler's rushing the ball like 10 plus times, 10 times, 8 times, 9 times, right? They're not letting him run that much.
Yeah, they don't need to win.
They're not calling the good plays on purpose, it seems like.
Yeah, and Gannon, I mean, everyone made fun of him preseason, but he looks like a solid coach. All right, so Niners, Freiermuth over 3.5, and the Jets, Falcons over 33.5. Nick, give me your bets.
I've got so far I've given out Tennessee Titans +7, Pittsburgh Steelers +1.5 teaser, and I've given out Denver Broncos +3.5. I've got more bets.
Oh, fire off, brother.
So alluded to it on accident just a second ago. I've got the Carolina Tampa Bay Buccaneers under 37. So that's a low total.
That is low.
That is a low fucking total. And both these defenses are playing good. Carolina actually not ruled out of the playoffs with 1 win. The division leaders have 5 wins, so they could still get in there.
That's an incredible tidbit. Well done.
But so this game I expect some good defense. Baker Mayfield may spoil it for me, but
Bryce, little revenge factor with Baker. Carolina gave him a run, but I like it. You're going against the grain a little. This isn't really a Nick pick, but I think it's probably going to win.
I like it. All right, and then the last bet is another total. I've done
5 bets, Nick.
No, that's only that's 3 so far, and this will be a 4th.
All right. Hats off to you, though. 4 picks is just incredible.
I was like, I don't like the board. Here's all the picks. All right,
5.
We've got Miami Dolphins, Washington Commanders. The total sitting at 49.5. We've got Miami on the road, who's been a little inconsistent. And then the Washington Commanders, who cannot put anything together, and the Miami defense is starting to click. So I've got the under 49.5. It's going to be tough because I have to watch this game because I'm a Miami fan, and it's tough to watch an under game, but and it could be over within like 15 minutes of this game. Miami could just blow 60 on them. But
no, I like it. 49.5 is a big total, especially this year in the NFL.
Sam Howell, like, come on, bro.
Yeah, even like 28, 21, you're still under. You know what I mean? Like there's some big scores that keep you under, which is nice. All
Miami's
right,
averaging 23 or something like that per game, so we're good.
Oh,
24
wait, we're averaging I think over 30 per game, Nick.
Hold on.
Yeah, go look that up.
Let me double check that, my friend.
Well, let me double check it while you read off your bets.
Okay. So my bets are, I was double checking it. My bets are Miami Commanders under 49.5, Denver Broncos plus 3.5, Carolina, Tampa under 37, and then the teaser with Tennessee and Pittsburgh. 6 points.
Miami's averaging 30.8 points per game.
And how many is the Commanders averaging?
Let me tell you. No, dude, Sam Howell I think leads the NFL in passing yards.
In sacks.
Let's see. Sacks too for sure. Let's see their points per game. Oh, I don't know. Where am I right now?
They're gonna lose though. Let's see here.
You find it. I can't. Oh, how many points did the Commanders average? 20.5.
Okay. Under.
Got it. So that puts that at 51. Yeah. No, you're right there. You're right there.
Under.
All right.
You know, do I expect them to play their average? No.
All right, 8-2 on the 9-2 on the season for FanDuel. We had last week off. I've officially clinched the season. You suck, but we will continue to do it. Do we have questions for the Dean?
No, we don't have questions. Not this.
We don't. I should take that back. You don't suck. I'm having an all-time fantasy year, which I hope continues into the playoffs, and I win a few leagues. So it's not you. I'm just scoring 140, 150 in these FanDuels every week, and still just min cashing though, which is just the most annoying thing ever. So let me kick it off here. I'm going to read my whole FanDuel out. I've got a triple Pittsburgh stack this week, which is absolutely disgusting, but we're rolling with it. Okay. Kenny Pickett, super cheap on quarterback, 6,700. I've got Alvin Kamara. I've got Ramondre Stevenson. I've got Tyreek Hill. I've got Deontay Johnson. I've got Lynn Bowden, like we said. I got Pat Freiermuth at tight end, and I got a revenge James Conner in the flex with the Houston Texans defense. What you got?
I've got Jared Goff. I've got Austin Eckler. I've got Ramondre Stevenson. Why didn't we touch on that game? That game's going to be awesome. I've got New England Chargers.
Oh, the New England Chargers. That's going to be – I think Keenan Allen's not going to play either. So it's like, what is that game even going to be?
This week with a different injury. He was out all last week with an injury, and then this week they're like, oh, now it's the quadriceps.
Hopefully for him, it's just like precaution and they're bluffing.
Ross St. Brown, Gerald Everett because who they're going to throw the ball to, Hunter Henry because who the hell they're going to throw the ball to, and then the Detroit Lions defense.
I'm putting your odds at like 100-1 to win in FanDuel this week. There's just no way you're beating me unless the Pittsburgh Steelers put up 0 points.
Let's put 5 on it.
All right, we'll put 5 on it. That sounds good. All right, that wraps us up. We're back from Thanksgiving. We'll be with you every week till the end of the season. We appreciate you all. See you next week. Peace.
Peace out, people.
Good shit. Timely.